Alive now.
Yeah, I think we are
Yes, we are.
on 8/8.
Now, we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
There.
Super Ghost Month. Share natin to.
Mm.
Tapang tao.
Wala pa si Bruce eh.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Hello, Bruce.
What's up?
Happy Ghost Month to you, fellow Chinoy.
Jasper.
Jasper doesn't count. He's right here with
He's
us.
right here.
We have 5 viewers on Facebook. What up,
Yeah.
Julian?
Julian, what's up?
Hello, Julian.
The regulars.
Oh, isang regular natin nandito eh, katabi ko eh.
Yeah. We're gonna show him on camera later.
Sobrang komportable, parang di mo kalaing bisita.
Dito sa casting couch namin.
Yeah.
Good luck, Julian. On your Bruce, sorry, Bruce, on your retake of the exam.
Hey, Sir Wayne's in YouTube.
Chief Wayne is here
Hello,
on
Wayne.
YouTube.
Sir.
He's here in the Philippines right now.
Welcome back, good sir.
I think we'll be seeing him next week.
Yeah, next week.
Sa Unang Tibok.
O nga, no, next week na pala yun.
Yep.
Yeah.
How is everyone on this strange weather Thursday?
Sobrang strange. No, kala ko, babagyin tayo. Tangin na, uminit
Kaya
bigla.
nga eh.
Parang gago.
I went from Laguna earlier. Tapos inabutan ako ng ulan sa Makati.
Yeah, diba?
Sobrang basang-basa ako pag dating ko ng bahay.
Kumain ka na naman ng angkas from Laguna?
No, from Makati.
Okay.
Kala ko from Laguna. Angkas ka. Sabi ko, lakas ng loob mo ah.
I'm never gonna do that again.
Doc G is here.
Glendale,
Hello,
what's
Doc
up?
Doc G, ba't wala ka dito?
Bruce, to answer your question, yes, sa Brawl Pit ang unang tibok.
Yeah, do I tell the story here?
Alam na rin naman natin, di ba?
No, I mean the public doesn't know.
Kung
The
sino
public doesn't
yung
know.
gagong may kasalanan ko bakit hindi tayo makalabas ng Brawl Pit.
So, might as well. Hindi naman siya hidden forbidden knowledge. So, basically, guys, yung ring ng World Underground Wrestling may nagpagawa back in 2018, I believe. Thereabouts that time. His name, you might know him. It's a jobber called Classical Brian Leo.
Nakakaya naman sa mga tunay na jobber.
Alam mo yun, loser siya talaga eh. In his infinite wisdom, kala mo na this is a man who has experience leading a wrestling company. In his infinite wisdom, yung ring na pinagawa niya, kasi siya may alam ng mga plans eh. Paano magpagawa ng ring, diba? Kina SJM, wala pa naman siya alam that time. So, yung pinagawa niya, pina-welding niya yung ring. Now, the ring can't be taken apart at all.
Yeah.
And when you can't take apart a ring, you can't take it anywhere else. So
Uh.
that ring is stuck right now in Brawl Pit. So for the foreseeable future, if unless some willing entrepreneur or angel investor would like to help sponsor us a new ring, SJM a new ring, or Puso Wrestling a new ring, all foreseeable shows will be at Brawl Pit Bulusan.
Let our response be, Bobo Amputa. Please repeat. Bobo Amputa.
Right, it is what it is.
Pero napupush siya, no? You can move it around, but you can't
you've seen a video of us moving the ring.
But
That's all we can do with it. We can move it to the center of the Brawl Pit gym.
Okay, time to shut up now.
All right, let's go.
Who's ready for story time?
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to you.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening.
And you are listening.
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling
Podcast. The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Hi guys! You're watching, listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Oh, Franz, pumalakpak ka. Walang soundboard eh. Yan.
Hey, may audience.
Oh, may live studio audience tayo of one in one of our patrons. Franz is here in the studio. Of course, you got me, Stancy, alongside Romoran and Emil Nate checking in from the TPN studios for our first live stream in the studio na F2F in 2024.
Yeah.
Tama na ba? It's our first for the year.
Yes, it is the first one.
Yeah, so pretty wild that we get to do this on Ghost Month of all months. Happy 8-8 pala. Ito nga pala yung links namin. No, just kidding. We don't do that anymore. Di na rin kami binabayaran eh. But it's great that we get to keep doing this and that we're trying out new things pa rin in year 10 of the podcast. Among them, recording with an actual studio audience member. Isa pa lang, di pa siya plural.
Yeah, ano ba? No. Before we introduce him on camera, let's might as well set the table. Why is he here, Emil? What is the perk that he's enjoying?
All right, so our friend Franz here is a part of our Patreon program. He's a patron, basically, and one of the new benefits actually of being yeah, there you go. There you go.
I was gonna make him come here in front of the camera, pero yun pala, meron pala tayong cameraman.
Oh. So Franz here is one of our patrons, and you can join us next time. Of course, here you could and also experience other benefits by subscribing to our Patreon program. It's at patreon.com/wrestling podcast for as low as $5. Aside from being able to be here, you can also have some input on the show because we are asking our patrons a question that they can ask us every week, either on the live stream or the audio only episodes. And also it's a fun Discord community. You know, we could ask us and talk about everything and anything.
Might even help you shop for new clothes.
Exactly.
Kami dun.
Yes. Also, you get to enjoy the review content of the weekly wrestling shows, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, the weekend AEW shows, Impact, everything. And also, sa pasabays, you get to enjoy discounts on the service fees. And again, if you are part of our Patreon program, you're supporting the pod, again, going strong for 10 years. Again, the link is patreon.com/wrestling podcast for as low as $5.
Actually, may guaranteed table at the viewing parties,
Yun,
diba, for our patrons. So, sobrang daming benefits ng patrons. Lugi na kami. So, luging-lugi na kami doon sa $5 a month.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Di naman ito yung hanap buhay natin.
But we're very thankful for all of our patrons, Franz included, kasi yun nga, may sarili siyang casting couch dito sa live stream natin, diba? So, alam natin na yung kanyang good looks, may mapupuntahan pala should he decide to shift careers to a more adult form of entertainment. All right, let's get to some happy row noises.
Oh, wala tayong graphic. But hey, Blast TV is celebrating its first year in the Philippines.
Happy anniversary, Blast TV.
So we have been promoting Blast TV for the better part of a year now. And hanggang ngayon, di pa rin kami panapansin ni Mr. Ovation. But still, despite that, you can still go and stay updated with all the weekly WWE main roster shows and other wrestling shows as well on Blast TV. It's www.blasttv.ph. It is free pa rin for Globe at Home and Converge subscribers. It is 179 pesos a month for everyone else. It is super sulit. A lot of other stuff as well, movies, sports, the WNBA is there if you want to watch Caitlin Clark. NFL fans like myself and Emil can go catch the regular season starting next month.
Yeah.
And marami ibang ganap. Go, I think NBA regular season as well.
Yeah, EuroLeague.
maraming content na nasa Blast TV. And habang wala pang WWE on Netflix, it is the best place to get caught up with WWE for free and legit. So go check that out. www.blasttv.ph.
All right. So, yun lang. Wala na kami ipapaplug kasi it'll be a while until we have our next viewing party. So, we're going to start with some iced tea. And no, I'm not talking about that guy from Law & Order SVU. We're going to spill the tea, at least what we know, about Britt Baker's suspension from AEW. So, we found out about this earlier this week. Binalita siya ni Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select and Dave Meltzer. So, according to their reports, there was a backstage altercation between Britt Baker and MJF that happened on the night of AEW Dynamite 250. So that was what, a month ago?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. So that resulted in Britt Baker getting suspended. So dinagdagan ni Ibu of Wrestle Purists, who said that Britt Baker was allegedly burying the MJF versus Will Ospreay match while she was in the women's locker room. So narinig siya ni Alicia Atout, yung fiancé ni MJF, and she texted MJF. So apparently, si Will Ospreay also confronted Britt Baker about it and asked her why she was stirring the pot and starting issues backstage. So apparently, Britt Baker also called Alicia Atout, and I quote, a stupid fucking bitch. So yun na nakasulat sa report. Because Alicia Atout informed MJF that Britt Baker was talking smack about yung MJF versus Will Ospreay match. So there were also reports about MJF reportedly punching a wall, but it wasn't in front of Britt Baker. Oh, apparently, nabwisit siya. After niya i-confront si Britt Baker, he walked off somewhere far away from the women's locker room and then he punched the wall. There were also reports that MJF had this confrontation in the women's locker room, pero nagpaalam naman daw siya. Like, he actually knocked, he asked permission, and then he went in to talk to Britt Baker. So, apparently, according to yung report, HR looked at all of the details and the footage and the information, and they determined na, okay, MJF, you're not in the wrong here. You were standing up for your fiancé, Britt Baker, ikaw yung suspended. So what do we think about all of this high school stuff?
Rose laughing.
When I'm right, I'm right. I've been telling y'all about Britt Baker. But, I mean, syempre, it's he said, she said at this point. But,
yeah.
It's one of those things na if you observe a pattern of behavior online, di ka magugulat na ganun yung ugali ni Britt Baker. And for someone to blow up, I mean, I kind of agree with whatever opinion she had of MJF versus Will Ospreay, diba? Kasi we talked about that. We talked about that match when it aired. Diba?
Yeah.
And we had a lot of stuff to say about it. But may criticism, and then there's also burying stuff. There's also talking shit backstage. And you and I said we've had experiences around here of people just stirring shit because they could, and they think wala silang makukuhang repercussions. So if it got that bad, then it probably was that bad. So we obviously will never know the full thing unless somebody involved in it decides to spill the tea, diba? But for now, I'm looking vindicated at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious to what Britt Baker said because I feel like it was so bad na kinailangan siyang i-confront both ni Ospreay and MJF. So I think burying is parang sugarcoating it. I think it was something worse.
It probably was.
Nagsumbong si Alicia kay MJF. So,
it was probably some backstabbing shit.
Probably was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising na nakakarinig tayo ng ganitong reports from AEW. It's surprising and also not surprising given recent history, diba? You would expect better, especially given their rank in terms of how people look at the industry, their place in the industry, diba? So it's very disappointing to hear this type of stuff coming out of a major company.
You know what? I don't feel disappointed kasi nagawa na ng paraan eh. Like yes, it was unfortunate that there had to be a confrontation. Pero looking back on our own experiences, if there is no confrontation, then that stuff is just gonna fester in the background. And I don't know if babago ba ugali ni Britt Baker because of this or anything. She seems to be in a lot of hot water right now, not just because of this, because of possible drama surrounding Adam Cole. Who knows, right? We don't know. Pero at least na-address and made disciplinary action. Kasi, I guess a couple of years ago, you wouldn't have seen AEW take disciplinary action about this.
Oh, wala pang committee nun eh.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right? Yeah, there. The one thing I was gonna say is that it's good that someone got suspended, diba? They made up for it on TV. Sinabi nila na Mercedes had Britt Baker suspended in kayfabe because of her connection with the EVPs. But outside of kayfabe, in reality, tama yun na there is a disciplinary committee who looks at the information, may due process na naganap, and then there was action in the form of a suspension. Kasi even if sabi natin hindi magustuhan nung wrestler yung consequences, the fact that pinaalam sa kanila na you can't do this wanton na walang mangyayari sa'yo, di ba, is a good sign that at least they already know na you can't F around and find out. That's a lesson we didn't get to learn ourselves here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, okay, gets good money. Talking shit is part of the game. It's natural. There will be people and things you don't like. Pero maybe don't be dumb enough to put that shit in public, or whatever passes for public.
I mean, in the first place, why do that in front of one of the fiancés, di ba?
Baka di niya alam.
Baka nga di niya alam.
Na fiancé ni MJF nandun.
No, like she didn't know she was there.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe baka nga ano eh. Baka nga sinadya niya. I mean, it happens.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Emil, you were gonna say something.
No, here's the thing. The fact na nalaman natin yung suspension before the reason why, I think that is a positive, because it meant that they took swift action to it immediately.
That's actually a good point.
They took swift action to it immediately before pa mag-leak na okay, this is what happened and wala pa sila nagawa. So I think that's a step up from AEW, and I think they learned naman from their past, because we all know what happened years ago. Diba?
Anong years ago? Last year lang yun, huy.
Oh yeah,
Last
that was
year
last
lang
year.
yun,
Oh
oh.
my god.
Yeah. I mean, yung kagatan was like 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
the one with Jack Perry and Crimea River was just last year.
Last
dude.
year, yeah.
So, yan. A lot of recent history coming into play, diba? As we talk about all of those things. And then very timely, yung week na lumabas yung balita, yun din yung week na binalik na sa TV si Britt Baker. So she got reinstated. She appeared via satellite or through a backstage promo in which she was interacting with Mercedes and Camille. So, yan. I guess everything is back to normal. Tingnan natin if, may other details. Hopefully, nothing too damning na lalabas in the coming weeks. All right. Let's switch gears here and talk about WWE. Let's get into the ring and talk about the King of the Ring's first challenger for his new World Heavyweight Championship, and that is Randy Orton. So, medyo weird to hear voices on Monday Night Raw since we know Randy Orton is a SmackDown guy. But I'd like to think they made it make sense by calling back to King of the Ring and how people were calling out that finish between Gunther and Randy Orton. So sinabi ni Orton na, did you really defeat me clean? So I want my rematch. Tara, let's go prove it in your hometown. And weird na Gunther didn't correct Randy Orton. Na, no, I'm not from Berlin. I'm from Austria. I'm from Vienna. But nonetheless, we get the match. Gunther versus Randy Orton in Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, before I saw the segment, I saw the news that it was going to be Randy Orton. I was wondering, but why is he crossing brand lines to do this? But okay, they made it make sense. Yeah, should be fun. The match was fun, so I think this should be good as well.
You know what? This made Randy Orton smart in kayfabe na hinintay niya na maging champion si Gunther.
Cash out niya ano.
He could have easily challenged Gunther again for the King of the Ring. So instead of him challenging Gunther for a title shot, for a chance to win the title, now he actually gets the actual champion itself in a title match for Bash at Berlin. So it was parang smart IQ move from Randy Orton.
When did Randy Orton hit yung John Cena status where every time Cena would appear, or in this case, Randy Orton would appear, everyone would just love him? When did that happen? Did it ever occur to you now, oh, Randy Orton's in this space now, this rarefied air?
I think it happened nung Riddle, the RK Bros run. I think that was when it really all just came together for Randy.
Yeah, I think also around the same time, because that was before the Riddle run was his terrific heel run, where I think he gained a lot of people's respect, and he was so good during the pandemic Na ayun na. After that, he was loved by everyone already.
Teka lang, we're forgetting that Randy Orton was also involved in the Fiend stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which people didn't love.
Yeah, exactly. Kaya nga, I think it all really came together nung RK Bro. Yun talaga.
Yeah. So it's just I guess it's amazing for me na every time Voices gets played in a WWE event, diba? Everyone just goes nuts and starts singing karaoke. It's about as over as Kingdom. Maybe not on the same level, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
And then they only just realized that okay, you can actually sing the song as well.
and para mas mahaba pa nga yung entrance si Randy Orton kay Cody. It's like Undertaker left, so now there's a vacuum for who can milk their entrance the longest, and now Randy Orton gets to do that.
Feeling ko kakantayin yun sa Berlin. Kasi kinanta ng ano, di ba?
Ng France.
Yung France ang kumanta ng song niya eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
They were the first ones to actually
Exactly. So now they realize, now you know na pwede palang kantayin yung song.
After over 15 years
Yeah.
of hearing voices.
People also didn't start singing Metalingus until AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah. But in Kingdom, like, were people singing it na ba in AEW?
Yeah,
Hindi ba,
yes.
diba?
Yes.
Were they?
Yes.
I don't
Oo.
remember.
Yeah, I don't remember as well.
Ato, may have an AEW expert over
Oh,
there.
to, friends. Para magkasilbi ka. Ano, naalala mo ba to?
Talaga ba?
I
he
don't
says
I
no.
don't think so. Yeah.
So Judas was the OG sing-along.
Kasi kasabay lang yun yung yung woe ng mga tao yung
Yeah,
yung
yung WoW was
WoW.
WWE.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was around the same time.
No, yung WoW was AEW.
No, people were going nuts
No.
for WoW in WWE.
Yeah,
lang.
WWE.
Yeah, kasi in AEW, diba, it's like Homelander, Cody ended
right.
racism,
Yeah.
diba? So yun
The,
yung
the tattoo.
biruan. Yeah, the tattoo. So hindi pa yung how over he really was. But yeah. We'll take our first break of the live stream. Then when we come back, we'll talk about more stuff coming from Monday Night Raw, including a big debut in the form of Odyssey Jones. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. Usapang Judgment Day tayo. They imploded over the weekend at SummerSlam. And coming out of Monday Night Raw, we've seen na yung dalawang in exile in Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, their real-life friendship has turned into an on-screen alliance against their new enemies in the Judgment Day. So they've been calling themselves the Terror Twins on social media. And for some reason, it's caught on. One of the commentators actually mentioned it on TV. I think it was Pat McAfee. And Priest and Rhea stood side by side, fending off an attack from the Judgment Day.
Yeah. Sayang, di sila pwedeng maging tag team in a tag team division.
Mixed match challenge.
Yeah, diba? It's probably going to be a mixed match challenge. For those who are asking, sino yung doll na nasa tabi ni Emil, it is a Joker figure. But yeah, no, it's fun. I like that they are still, hindi sila nagkawatak-watak completely. Like, they realize, okay, sila yung napag-iwanan, kumbaga. But what I don't like is the sudden shift bigla of Damian Priest's character. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but just because nawala yung Judgment Day, all of a sudden he's calling all of us his family.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, did he watch too many Fast and Furious movies after SummerSlam? Parang, where did that come from? Diba? Like, okay, yes, we love the Judgment Day, but we're not family, you know what I'm saying?
Baka in-expect niya na pinanood mo rin yung WWE 24. Kasi doon, it was very family-centric, that entire documentary.
Yeah, but was he talking about us as the family?
He was talking about the Judgment Day as his family.
Why did we become his family? Where did that come from? Diba? Okay sana kung pinakita nila yung snippets of that 24 documentary, but if you didn't catch it, there is a huge tonal shift kasi from Judgment Day Damian Priest to Dominic Toretto Damian Priest, diba? I don't know if you guys feel the same.
Ikaw, Emil.
Yeah, I also kind of noticed the same thing. Okay, he was with the Judgment Day just a few days ago, and that was yun yung kinoconsider niya as family. And now, he says that everyone is his family and parang Finn Balor betrayed him and his family daw. So,
Oo nga,
oh,
ba't kami nasali dito?
I guess it's to gain, I guess, sympathy for Damian
No,
Priest,
but
but they
it's
don't
too,
need it. They don't need it.
walang build up eh.
Oh.
I don't know. Kasi
How would you have wanted it?
I wanted it to deal with the Judgment Day problem first.
Mm.
And then after that's been dealt with, sa kanya introduce yung concept na, okay, you guys are my family. And I was looking for a family after my old family kicked me out, kicked us out, me and Rhea out. Then I found you guys. Not okay, all of a sudden the day after, just because wala ka ng tropa, kami na bigla yung pamilya mo, di ba?
How do you feel about Liv Morgan and Carlito now being fully entrenched in the
They
Judgment
made
Day?
it make sense. I mean,
Yeah.
Carlito was Finn's get,
Mm.
and Dom is obvious. Liv is obviously Dom, and Liv gave them a PS5 and chicken tenders.
Yeah, it was bound to happen then. I guess they need more now they need members because they just kicked one out. So, and if they're gonna continue Judgment Day as a group, you gotta add in Carlito in there. He's gonna be the one taking the falls, I guess. He's gonna be the one who's gonna get beaten up every week. Instead of Finn or Dom. So, so siya na yung kapalit.
It's funny that may karma rin na nangyari kasi Dom and Rhea kicked Edge out.
Oh, yeah.
And then now they got kicked out by Finn.
Ayun, I'm glad you mentioned karma. I was going through the Squared Circle subreddit and then somebody posted na Rhea is the real villain here kasi siya yung nag-kickstart ng chain of events that led to this point. Diba? She corrupted Dom and then she injured Liv Morgan. So parang this is just karma coming back to bite her. So why is she sympathetic in all of this?
Because she's hot. I mean, why else are you all sympathizing with Rhea Ripley? Because she's fucking hot. Diba?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why people are also cheering for Liv because she's hot.
Oh, like yeah, it's been a long time din kasi, and people have like short-term memory of it. Like they just.
But aren't we praising long-term
I know.
storytelling? So why are we
I know.
conveniently forgetting Rhea's old actions?
Kasi nagmahal siya, ganun. Nagmahal siya eh. Nagmahal siya ng tunay. Diba?
Like, she eventually learned to love Dom Mysterio.
Since you said na Rhea and Liv are hot, therefore people are cheering for them. If they were replaced with conventionally unattractive people who did the exact same things and were in the exact same storylines,
they would not have been over.
Yep.
So, I mean, it is the way it is. It is. Remember, Fabio Makisig said it best. Wrestling is a looks business.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's shift gears here and talk about the Wyatt Six and their in-ring debut. So, every one of them actually got acknowledged on Monday Night Raw, even Nikki Cross. Like, sinabi ni Michael Cole, Abby the Witch, Nikki Cross during the six-man match. But in the end, tinanggal niya na yung Nikki Cross reference. It was just Abby the Witch.
Baka he wasn't thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. But it was a very emotional match, diba? From the moment they came out until the end after they defeated American Made, and then they pointed up to the sky to acknowledge si Bray Wyatt. It was a very emotional affair. But what did you think of the way that they presented themselves in that six-man match?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think that was a problem ng original Wyatt family. Diba? Like only Brody was the best person to watch. And then a lot of the Bray Wyatt stuff ended up falling a little flat because he wouldn't really wrestle the way you wanted him to. Then now you have three guys who are wrestling their asses off. Diba? That's pretty cool. I actually enjoyed watching them because it tells me that assuming we're gonna have them wrestle a lot more moving forward, hindi lang sila ora-ora lang, diba? Hindi sila nagpapaka-spooky lang. So I want to see them compete. I don't know what it means specifically if they are going to chase after titles, but I think they can make it make more sense.
Yeah, when this gimmick was formed and it was teased so many times before, I never thought abot tayo sa point that they're going to be over as baby faces. Yeah, yes, it is a Bray Wyatt tribute act, but they were so over on Raw. People loved them. People cheered for
Yeah.
them, and I actually like as well na it was they were acknowledged as Joe Gacy, as Dexter Loomis, and as Eric Rowan
Hindi sila nakamask eh.
instead of like another character, I guess. Like okay lang yung kay ano kay Abby the Witch but with those guys I like that they were acknowledged as them, and they were able to wrestle the way the way they are wrestling naman. And it reminds me so much of the OG Wyatt family when they were wrestling more instead of going into the supernatural territory, which they eventually did. So yeah, it reminds me of the OG Wyatt family. And it was a great debut for them.
I actually like the creative decision to not have them wear yung Firefly Funhouse character masks. Like, yeah, that's not, as a guy who ditched the mask, let's not do that and make it harder for them. Let's acknowledge that this is Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, and Eric Rowan. Obviously, we know who Eric Rowan was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Yun na nga lang, kay Nikki Cross na lang ang natitira.
Feeling ko ano rin they learned from the lessons of Retribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, that's true.
I was listening to Dijak's interview on Insight with Chris Van Vliet and about how established brands to mga wrestlers na to. Then you put them under masks, give them a new name. It's gonna be very hard. Ang laking dissonance nun for the viewers, diba? Who are watching these known wrestlers, known entities competing as someone else. So this brings me to ask, what do you think of Michael Cole saying na this is Joe Gacy who believes he's Huskus the Pig? It's Dexter Loomis who believes he's Mercy the Buzzard.
Yun, may explanation siya.
May connection between those two worlds na yes, this is them, this is who they are before, and this is who they are now.
Now I want to know, why exactly they wanted to believe they are these characters.
And why they don't believe in Joe Hendry. All right. After the Wyatt Six, one last point on Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about the New Day, who are still in this feud against the Final Testament, which has been going on for quite a long time. And now there's a new character who's been introduced here in Odyssey Jones. And for those who don't remember, Odyssey Jones was called up from NXT, and he'd been in I guess free agent purgatory for such a long time, dating back to last year. He'd been unassigned. He stopped showing up on NXT, and then now siya yung rest back ni na Kofi and Xavier Woods. And apparently Xavier Woods is being portrayed now as being kind of jealous of Odyssey Jones and how close he and Kofi had reportedly become because of Kofi's rehab in the PC.
Yeah. First of all, tawag doon, I feel bad for everyone involved in this story. Like
everyone?
They're trying so hard to make it work. Pero sobrang hindi kapanipaniwala si Cross. It's just not working, nobody really wants to see anyone interact with the Final Testament. Like, I want the authors of Pain to break away from from Cross. It's like, why do I need two managers in this feud? And then Karrion Kross is the third manager. So, God, it's just I wish Cross would just go back to shaving his head. Okay, so Odyssey Jones has some issues. So he has aside from Quincy Elliott, he's also been making some transphobic social media posts in the past. And whether you believe in that or whether you agree or disagree with that, WWE PR needs to handle this because they have to be in touch with the pulse of the fans, and people have been finding this. Even if majority of the fans don't care, it is something that they need to deal with. Because even if he's not as big a star as Logan Paul or Pat McAfee, you need to scrub this clean, or else issues and controversies will hound him. Odyssey Jones looked really good, I will say. He looked really more mobile than we last saw him. I did enjoy his work when he was new in NXT 2.0. I thought it was really good, and it was weird then na bigla siya nakalimutan when he got called up. But he looked pretty good. I just hope that they're not actually breaking up the New Day. I really enjoyed the fact that they were really steadfast in insisting na hindi sila break up. And I hope that that's still, I hope that this is just, character development happening.
Yeah, same thing. I wish, like, they have said naman in the past, like, it's either we're not gonna break up or we're gonna retire. So I don't think they're gonna break up. This is they're just teasing it for the sake of making the storyline a little bit more interesting. See, Odyssey Jones was actually drafted on Raw years
Yeah.
ago.
No, just
Last year.
last year.
Last year,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's took them a year para siyang Eurostash
Oh.
na na yun lang
Siya pala
ginamit.
si Sabonis eh.
But will agree with what Ro is saying when it comes to his past, his views. Napaka timing nga ng debut niya eh. Like when all of this things that in the world is happening, uh yeah, they need to clean that up, handle that, or else it will open a can of worms, I guess, for him, especially now that he is in a limelight as a main roster WWE superstar.
One last question before we go to break. How much outrage would there be if si Odyssey Jones lang pala yung makakapagpa-break up sa New Day?
Man,
God damn. Why would you
jeez.
do that? Why would you put it on him? I mean, I know they're down one guy since Big E got injured, pero no, even if hindi na sila relevant or di sila, as popular as they were, it's still the New Day.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are legendarily the team that weren't gonna break up.
Yeah, if somehow the New Day breaks up, I think that means Big E's wrestling career is really done. Because
Yeah.
because
hope
again, like they said, it's either we're gonna retire or we're not gonna break up. So if one variable there changes, then I think
The break up na may story talaga.
yeah. So it's ganun yung maiisip ko if they actually break it up. Like talagang like that's it for Big E, which sana hindi.
All right. Let's take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about DIY and their tag team championship loss in Cleveland, as well as the achievement of one Jake De Leon. But first, another break and another message from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, Emil, sabi ko sa'yo, I'm gonna wear my DIY shirt for you on the stream. So kahit di sa bagay, see? I've got my DIY shirt under my hoodie for Emil, who has so many feelings over DIY dropping the tag team championship to the Bloodline on SmackDown. You want to get your feelings out of the way first?
Yeah, nung Sabado kasi wala pa akong tulog nun when I watched SmackDown. So nakadagdag yun. Here's the thing kasi, ever since they became a tag team sa main roster, it was an uphill battle for DIY talaga. Like it took them a while before they gained some momentum. And even with the crowd responses, no una they wouldn't get any cheers, they wouldn't get any pops. So it took them a while. And now kasi I was invested I was invested in DIY because again, they're one of my favorite tag teams. And they got to that moment where they finally won the tag team championships in the same place that they won the NXT tag team championships all those years ago. And with this new era of Triple H, I was expecting them to at least hold on to the titles for like what 4, 5, 6 months. I think 4 months, 4 to 6 is a benchmark for a good title reign.
Is it though?
I think so. Yeah. In
Really?
today's WWE, yeah, that's the benchmark for me. And then in their first title defense, first one, they didn't even
Hindi naman first. They beat A-Town Down Under in the rematch.
Oh, in the rematch, yeah. And then dun nag-interview sila, yeah, I remember. In their second title defense, they lost it so easily. It was so heartbreaking. And sobrang nakakairita because I followed their journey and they should have at least have kahit 2 months na okay na ako but not even like a month. Again, I was frustrated because again, I'm a fan of these guys, and like I said on a clip that we released nung Sabado, both of them, if you look at their track record, both of them as baby faces, sobrang short ng mga title reigns nila. Their long title reigns were actually as heels, both of them. So, I guess it's me going against the trope of the Triple H booking of heels being champion for so long. Kaya nga with Sami Zayn, sobrang surprised ako na he actually got to SummerSlam without losing the title because it's so rare that we get a babyface act to be champion for so long in the Triple H. Maybe except
that
Cody.
wasn't 6 months. So was that a bad title reign?
With Sami?
Yeah.
Wait, no.
4 months lang
That was
yun.
4 months.
Yeah, I said 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the benchmark. So yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
And to
I-
lose it against the bloodline, which I'm not a fan of as
I mean,
well.
Emil, you're mad, which means you're getting work,
Oh,
right?
I know.
Like,
I know. I'm getting work.
diba? Like baby faces work best when they're chasing the championship. So
Yeah.
when they get a championship run na maiksi lang kasi naudlut siya because it was too short that it didn't get to wear out its welcome or overstay its welcome, then I think you're doing something right.
I mean, look at Sammy. People are already hating on Sammy by the time he lost.
I know. Yeah.
Like who cares? It's
No, like that. I think also part of my frustration is knowing that they're never not that they're never gonna win, but it's the end of that story. Because the bloodline is gonna feud with other people from this point on.
yeah, I guess. Pero,
And they're never gonna have a crack at it again for like a while.
I don't know. I mean, they had the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
they had the big moment. That's really sometimes that's really all that matters. You know,
I agree.
you can have the reign, but the reign is never going to be as memorable as the moment you win the championship.
All right, let's get to this question from one of our patrons, si Doc G or
Doc
si Glendale,
G.
who asks, when can we say that a wrestler's title defense was done dirty? Kasi itong si Emil, he feels that DIY was done dirty.
One example aside from DIY is Kofi
Oh,
against Brock.
yeah.
That was dirty as hell. When
Yeah,
he lost
for sure.
in how many seconds? Like 8 seconds. That was pag hindi competitive yung yung title defense because you're a champion eh. It was matatalo ka lang ng ganun. Like it's a disservice to the champion no matter how strong or how over the opponent is.
It's only dirty when they don't deserve it. It's okay. So my points si Emil na okay. The Timu bloodline doesn't deserve it. But you know, that's also in service of their story. You know, I mean, I'd certainly think that Jacob Fatu and Tamatonga are veterans enough to deserve a tag team championship reign.
Yeah, imagine how big of a deal Jacob Fatu is in Triple H's eyes. Na not even a month into his main roster run, boom, champion ka na.
Yeah. These things is I have come to understand that they are in service to a story. They are in service to eliciting reactions from you. And since the reaction has been elicited from you, the story has worked. And well, I've my brain works differently now.
Eto, what about Christian in 2011?
Yun,
That's my
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
example.
John
Yeah.
Christopher mentions it on the comments. And now, looking back on the Christian thing, knowing what I know now, it was a story. It was a story for Christian to overcome. The disservice in that story was that he never really got it back properly. Like he won it via DQ. But the moment itself of losing the championship after 2 days, technically,
Yeah.
because it was on a SmackDown taping. Looking back on it, it was a story. It was a swerve. It was a plot device.
Yeah, fun fact, Christian has never won a world championship in WWE cleanly. So he won it by snatching the title.
Well, that
off-
was clean.
Oh,
That
okay,
was
fine. He
clean.
never pinned someone to
Oh,
become
yeah,
world
okay,
champion. He snatched the title and he kicked Randy in the nuts to become world champion. Ano pa ba? Zack Ryder as Intercontinental Champion in 2016.
That was one day, diba?
Oh, one day.
That was one day.
Was he done dirty?
No, I don't think so. He was given the moment.
Pero walang storya yun. Kasi
Yeah.
after he lost to Miz, wala na, naitsapwera na siya ulit.
Yeah, oo nga.
Yeah.
That was the follow through was dirty, but not the title loss.
O ikaw, Emil, if you have any more grudges with your wrestling fandom, ano pa yung mga title defense na for you were done dirty?
Yun na inisip ko the Kofi Brock one kasi again they never really followed up on it.
Yeah.
They never had Kofi challenge Brock again for the title, and they moved on from
Yeah, that was bad.
From Kofi to like Cain Velasquez. Like what the hell?
Cain
Oh my God.
2019 WWE is wild. If you think about
It
it.
was really was.
Echoing what Rose said, na knowing what I know now, I understand how these things made sense. But I tried to think back on yung mga title defenses that really made me feel the way Emil feels right now. It's really Christian from 2011 and Daniel Bryan from 2013 yung SummerSlam. Right after Orton cashed in. I was really mad at the
Man.
time.
But I understood back then. I wasn't a wrestler then, but I understood that why that had to happen.
Oh.
That day.
I didn't understand fully, so I was really pissed. Yeah. So I was really pissed when that happened. All right. Thank you so much to Doc G, one of our patrons, for sending in that question. Again, that's another one of our benefits for our patrons. All right, let's move on to the local scene. Jake De Leon has been announced as part of Gato Move's show on August 31 at the legendary Korakuen Hall. And for those paying attention, this is a huge milestone because JDL, or Jake De Leon, will become the first ever homegrown Filipino wrestler to compete at that legendary venue.
Yeah, Korakuen Hall is huge. It's a big deal. It is, the next, the step away from Tokyo Dome, from Sumo Hall, from the Budokan, Ryogoku, a lot of big stuff. It's really huge. It's hopefully, I wish we could all be there, but it's Japan. We cannot be there. But deserve naman yan. If there's anyone rather who deserves this from around here, it's him. He's worked hard to get that spot, and I hope that leads to bigger things for him down the line. It's the step, it's the next step after 10 years.
Yeah, this is a big news. This is a milestone for Philippine wrestling. For the first time, we have someone who will perform at that glorious venue. And again, we are all here behind Mr. Philippine Wrestling and wish him good luck and wish for more things to happen for him because he really deserves everything he's getting at this point. He worked hard for it. Again, he's Mr. Philippine Wrestling for a reason, and he is the one deserving to represent us on an international stage.
I'm sure that that show rather is going to be on YouTube because knowing Gato Moves and Choco Pro's shows, I know that they upload a lot of them.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome knowing that JDL will not just compete in that Gato Move show. He'll be competing in at least 2 shows throughout his stay in Tokyo. There's another one which Lance is pointing out in the comment section. He'll be at Fucked Up Fest for Baka Gaijin on August 24. So he gets to call himself a Baka Gaijin proudly by competing at that event later this month. So congratulations to very good friend of the podcast,
Sir,
Jake De Leon.
congrats.
You, sir, deserve it. All right, let's go to NXT now and talk about that ending. Wesley has turned on the Rascals. So sinuper kick niya si Trey Miguel and then he low-blowed Zach Wentz and even hit him with a Meteora to the steel steps. So that was a shocking ending. I did not see that happening at all coming out of that tag team championship match.
Alam mo yung nakakagago dito. If it turns out that he did that because the Rascals distracted him from the North American Championship. God damn. But it's a lot better than him crying all the time.
Wow.
No. Because he overdid the crying. Like every promo he's doing, if he's not happy, he's crying. What the hell?
I was initially surprised as well because ang akala ko they were really gonna go all the way with this MSK Rascals reunion by having them win the tag team titles, and I actually thought it was the other team who was gonna implode. But now
they're also on the way to doing that.
But now that I was thinking about it and na-realize ko yung character ni Wesley, he's so whiny. Na pag natatalo siya, like he doesn't take accountability to his losses. He always blames it on his other factors, and this time dahil natalo sila for the tag team titles, he took it out on his rascal friends, and he was saying na iniwan niya daw. He was saying to Zach na he left him. He left him alone.
Bro got fired.
Oh my.
Yun nga,
I mean, in a way he's right because he did mess up.
Yeah, past him messed up real bad.
So I guess it's gonna lead to a cross promotional feud between them and Wesley.
Mhm.
Rascals and Wesley.
What do you think about this? Na of all the things that we could have gotten out of NXT and A, we got this Rascal storyline.
Actually, I think it's pretty good. The Rascals are over. They're popular. I actually thought Trey Miguel was the one turning kasi siya yung wala sa match, diba?
Mm.
Oh,
But it does make sense now that you keep the TNA unit intact and have West do something different, which is fun because he finally gets to do something different. Yeah, but I don't mind it. I think this was the best part of NXT TNA outside of Joe Hendry and whatever else is happening. Because I don't know, this was the crossover that people wanted when NXT TNA became a thing, because there was legit history with Zach Wentz in NXT.
yeah, same points as Ro. This is one of those crossover that made a lot of sense because of the history, and you simply cannot ignore that history. So they needed to do something about it. They had that reunion run for a few weeks, and now they move on to the next thing, which is feud with each other. Which I'm sure both of guys naman parang pinangarap nila at some point in a big promotion they're gonna actually do a feud with each other. So this is a big thing for both for all three of them. All three of the Rascals.
Last point on NXT and A, sabi ni Joe Hendry in a backstage interview na, this is not the last we'll see of him. So after he defeated Joe Coffey, what's next for Joe Hendry in NXT and A?
I guess Ethan Page.
Yeah.
What else do people want?
Yeah, I think at some point we're actually gonna get Josh Alexander in NXT as well, because he's been feuding with Joe Hendry.
Pero
Uh,
heel si
but
Josh
they're gagawin-
Alexander ngayon eh.
Huh?
Heel si Josh Alexander
exactly.
ngayon.
So why would you import the TNA feud on NXT unless nasign na talaga si Joe Hendry sa NXT?
Again, like I said with the Rascals, there's history there with Ethan Page and Josh Alexander.
Yeah, pala,
Yeah,
that's
as a
right.
tag team, as the North,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah,
I
and
forgot
people
about the North.
People are also clamoring for some sort of the North reunion now that both guys are heels. So, and then they're feuding against one guy. So, or Ethan Page is gonna feud with Joe Hendry. So, might as well.
Yeah, Ora Mensa's been taken off the chessboard, diba? So I guess that opens things up for Joe
Yeah.
Hendry. So we
Someone
said his
s-
name.
Someone said this news that Josh Alexander might appear on NXT.
Anonymous G, sino ka ba? Paano mo alam yun?
Who are
Anonymous K. All right, let's take a break. More AEW talk after this quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about AEW, and we're going to start with Kyle Fletcher, who opened the show kanina on Dynamite to face MJF for the American Championship. And Kyle Fletcher is the next member of the Don Callis family to turn face following Will Ospreay and I guess Sammy Guevara, if you count his really quick stint with the Callis family. So what do you think about this whole thing where tinahi nila yung friendship niya with Will Ospreay into the story, and they're trying to make him be a rah-rah baby face now? Oh, that's my best friend. That's my brother. I'm going to fight in his honor.
Yeah. If you know your NJPW, you know the United Empire, diba? So get someone na may relationships to that, and I guess they did their legwork in saying that okay, tawag doon si Kyle Fletcher or Will Ospreay was the guy who set up Kyle Fletcher for success, right? I just think they're rushing through it. I guess it's a way for them to build up the feud, but also it's weird because the Don parang walang choice kundi, to have the Don Callis guys turn face. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It makes sense to me, but it's also kind of weird because as usual, Tony Khan is pulling these quickly, kind of from out of nowhere.
You know, it's weird na all the guys from the Don Callis family can be credible baby faces. like Takeshita, Fletcher, Osprey,
Hobbs.
Hobbs. So all of them are, I think, better baby faces than heels. When it comes to Kyle Fletcher, I don't know. Maybe a part of me is thinking it's gonna be a fake out.
Again?
Again?
Like TK loves to do these things.
Kaya nga,
Uh,
again eh.
Yeah nga eh. And hindi na ako mabibigla if he pulls this one off where at all in he's gonna betray Osprey. But I don't want that to happen because again it's been a repetitive thing that he does. But I'm not gonna be surprised if he does it again.
How do we feel about these guys turning face when Don Callis can do no other thing other than being a heel?
Yeah. The entire sentiment about the Don Callis family is that everyone who gets stuck with the Don Callis family needs to break away from the Don Callis family.
Oh no.
So
Yeah.
para siyang acknowledgement of the fact that the Don Callis alignment is not good for them, even if he's a great heel. It kind of sucks because gets go what they want to do, but people want to cheer for them, which is fair as well, right? Well, it is what it is. So I guess it's a way to course correct in a manner of speaking.
I think honestly for me, there's no need for Don Callis right now in AEW.
I suppose.
Yeah, because wala, he's just there. Like he's not he's not feuding with anyone. He's not in a storyline with anyone. He's just there as the default manager of these guys. And parang wala na rin eh. Wala na rin naitutulong si Don Callis to these guys because these guys are over. Takeshita, like Hobbs, these guys can get over without the presence of Don Callis. And I I just don't know where to put him right now or who is going to benefit the most under Don Callis as of this moment.
I think my point kay na siguro na oversaturate tayo kay Don Callis over the last 4 years na maybe it's time that we miss him a bit. Maybe take him off TV. Hell, I miss Dan Lambert right now. Because we haven't seen him on TV in such a long time, di ba? Wala na siya sa AEW, but I actually miss the Dan Lambert character. So I think if we miss Don Callis, then if and when he comes back with like someone else, baka mas maging effective yung presence niya.
Yeah, I miss Dan Lambert.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. All right, yung Trios champions, pag-usapan natin, si Christian is now holding all 3 Trios championships, and then
Not
on
anymore.
Collision over the weekend, he bestowed them on his son Nick Wayne and on the mother who gave birth to his son Nick Wayne instead of Killswitch, who's actually the wrestler among the other 3 members of the patriarchy. So now they're teasing something they already teased last year, yung feud between Christian Cage and Killswitch. So why are they doing this again?
I think they're finally gonna pull the trigger. I guess they need someone else. I mean, they want someone else to be in the patriarchy, and I guess
they found it in Mother Wayne.
No, I don't know. Another wrestler, yeah. I guess Killswitch needs a new gimmick. I mean, the Luchasaurus gimmick is now dead because nobody remembers the origin anymore. Like, wala na Lucha Underground. Wala na si Jack Fair, wala na Jungle Boy. So, yeah, I think Killswitch is overdue for something new.
So, hanggang ngayon, di ko pa rin alam kung bakit ginagago ni Christian Cage si Killswitch.
Because he can.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yun nga, they already teased it last year, wala naman nangyari. So, I hope this time, we can have a resolution to this because sobrang confusing lang for me na he's messing with this guy, but at the end, he needs this guy to win.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, they need to do something about that.
Yeah, I do want to see the Christian and Killswitch feud happen, but I think most important for me right now is for Killswitch to unmask. Underneath that mask is not a horror story. It's actually a good-looking bearded man with long hair, diba? So I'd like to see, FKA Judas Devlin as a human being, kicking people's heads in and doing whatever he can do outside of the Luchasaurus or Killswitch
Or,
gimmick.
unless he wants to be Luchasaurus again, it's totally fine. Wala lang siyang Jungle Boy.
Oh, yun lang. But yeah, whatever he wants to do, as long as he gets rid of the gimmick that's kind of boxing him in right now. Feeling ko yun yung parang balakid niya eh.
Yep.
So yeah. Last thing on our list for AEW is the return of good old JR. So Jim Ross back on TV. He appeared in a sit-down interview with Swerve Strickland. And the first thing I noticed is I halata naman na JR hasn't been 100%. He hasn't been well. Pero medyo lumit yung katawan niya. Like his shirt was really ill-fitting na because ang laki ng shirt niya, I guess presumably from his healthier days. What really caught my attention though was medyo nahihirapan na si JR magsalita at mag-pronounce. Like, his speech has really been affected by all of his different ailments. And I don't know, napaisip lang ako na parang, I get it. This is what makes JR happy. I've read his autobiography na he wants to keep being on TV, being part of the business as long as kaya pa niya. And, given what happened with his wife, the tragic loss of his wife, this is one of the things that keeps him happy. But at some point, where do you strike that balance of, knowing what to do with JR's next chapter, I guess?
If I were Tony Khan, I just say no to JR. I'd rather have him coach the commentators. I know JR wants to be on TV, but he doesn't add value anymore.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I saw the segment and it was so dreadful to get through. I could barely understand JR, and he could barely keep the segment going. I mean, yes, I'm sure he was still sharp somewhere there, but he can't also speak anymore. He can't do what got him to the dance a long time ago. It's just sad. Parang, yes, it makes him happy, but it also is looking pretty sad. It's there. It feels a little exploitative at this point.
Bakit siya exploitative?
Kasi you trot him out because the fans think he's the old JR who, was the soundtrack to their childhood of pro wrestling. But it's not. It's not that guy anymore. Matagal na siyang hindi ganyan. Even when he was still healthier, he was not that guy. He barely was that guy when he last did WWE. So, it's not only was JR a gimmick, but he can't even barely do the gimmick anymore. So,
for the sake of conversation, at what point do we start sounding ageist while having this conversation?
It's not ageist kasi that he's literally decrepit. It's not ageism because he can barely do the job, not through any fault of his own. It's not value adding talaga. It's not a matter of, oh, hey, this guy is still good. Like, it would be ageist if I said, I don't want him on TV because he's old, even if he was still able to provide the value of old JR from even 10 years ago. But it's not him anymore. It's unfortunately a shell of himself, and that just happens to all of us because we get old, we get sick.
If for me, if JR really wants to be out there, and if the choice was either do little segments like these or trot him out on commentary pag pay-per-views, I'd rather him just
the segment was fine, but the commentary is not.
Just do these segments. At least you still bring value to the show by having the interviews, the things, the promos that you want to wrestlers to have. Instead of him, kasi yun, basta halata yung hirap na siya pag nasa commentary siya eh.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think his commentary days going out there, it's not there anymore, but he can still add value to the show by doing segments like this. Kahit na alam natin na he's not the same anymore.
Ito, I just want to acknowledge yung self-awareness, at least from my point of view, from where we're sitting. Me and Ro were both wrestling commentators, commenting on the wrestling commentator of wrestling commentators in his prime. It's just that, diba, parang, like he paved the way for people like us to do what we do. It's just that I guess there comes a time where nakikita na rin natin na, as Ro pointed out, JR is no longer prime JR or peak JR, diba? So, just acknowledging that.
It's not even a matter of being peak JR. Like, sige, okay lang kung hindi ka peak JR kasi matanda ka na, but you're also really, really kind of sick. It's it seems physically painful for him to keep doing this.
Well, ako, we wouldn't know what
sure.
JR's actually feeling, what he's actually thinking throughout this time. There is a corner of the internet, however big or however tiny, that will say na, let JR do what is making him happy.
No, I think the problem is that people see JR and hear JR do his thing still, and still think he's old JR. Yun yung problema ko eh. People are still so quick to trot out JR and assume that he's gonna do his old JR shtick. It's not him. It's not him anymore. Let's not pretend that it's still him.
Mm-hmm. So let us know what you think. You know where to find us. As always, it is at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter. Everywhere else on social media, it is at Wrestling Podcast. As we wind down here, let's get to some plugs. Emil, what do you have going on?
Wala naman just stuff. Again, follow us on all our socials and subscribe to our Patreon for benefits and all
For
that.
friends with benefits?
No, for for all the benefits, of course, that I mentioned earlier.
All right, Ro, new episode of Unmasked this week.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m., new episode of
Hey.
Unmasked. France over there is cheer. Thank you, France, for being a core listener. Julian is here. You have workout music tomorrow. So go wait for that. And tomorrow is the premiere of DexCon WrestleStorm on Solar Sports.
Yun.
It's going to show tomorrow and Saturday with the replays. And after the replays are over, ipapalabas naman ang effing Fatal 4-Way from last year. So, maraming ganap on Solar Sports. I don't think it's going to be the end of DexCon and World Underground Wrestling on that channel.
Sounds great. Welcome to the Solar Sports family,
Hey.
DexCon
Hey.
and World Underground Wrestling. On my end, new episode, new season actually, of Now Steaming. It's on the formerly On Deck with Stancy feed on Spotify. So, sakto, Ghost Month for shits and giggles. We decided to drop the rebooted season this week. So, if you want to know about Ghost Month or if you want to hear our thoughts on the Alice Guo Hullabaloo, everywhere you can catch that on the first 3 episodes of the rebooted season of Now Steaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. On social media, you can follow us individually. It is at EML_Meister, at Ro is War, at Chino Supersized, at Monday Night Rowan, and at _Stan C. Thank you very much to Babyface producer Jasper, to Zeke, to Kuya Jeff, and all the other producers here at the Pod Network for making this live stream work. Thank you to France for hanging out in our casting couch. And thank you to everybody who caught this episode of the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. We'll catch you next week for our audio-only episodes. But until then, my name is Stancy, and on behalf of Ro Moran and Emil Nate, as well as Chino Liao and Rowan ASH, just reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out. Bye, guys!
Peace.